The training is worthless if you never hold the seat because the gravity of the decisions don't sit on you if you're playing armchair quarterback.
What can leaders do to prepare for the leadership challenge of sitting in the top seat in the organization?
Yeah, I don't know that I would agree wholesale. Now, they have run much bigger organizations than I have, okay? So we'll just be transparent on that. What I was looking for with this book started as a legal pad for me to leave the guy that came in behind me, which I figured was going to be another family member to run our family business. And what I wanted them to know was these are the challenges that I face, and these are how I sort of navigated around them. And these are the mental models that I used to think through some of those challenges. What I realized that I was doing was writing a job description for a CEO. And I think if you can write a job description, you can train some of that in there. Having said that, you could train somebody for their entire lives. And I was sort of trained for it. I grew up at my dad's knee, always around him in business conversations. I was one of the first 100 employees at WebMD. I was the only law clerk that WebMD ever, to my knowledge, ever employed when I was in law school. And every single time I was in the building, I was pulled into a very high level conversation with the CEO, the CFO, or in the room watching how they made those sort of decisions. I then was in the venture capital business watching CEOs and how they did the job. And you can't help but do that, to do that thing where you say, what would I do in his situation? Mm-hmm. Usually I would do better. Here's what I would do. But, we all do that sort of thing. But I was in training for the job. But the training is worthless if you never hold the seat, because the gravity of the decisions don't sit on you if you're playing sort of armchair quarterback.
Yeah. I think about two things. I think about my earliest mentor, Jerome Keller. And as a really young person, he stuck me in the room in places where I should not have been. And I joke many times that was my crash course MBA on the job training. I was sitting with the head of Adidas and sitting with the head of Nike. I had no reason to be in the room other than Jerry asked me to be there. And I am so grateful that I started to understand these are the conversations that happen. These are the strategic conversations that happen. And, you want to talk about a great jumpstart in life, mentor your people that are in your organization, because when they have the mindset of how we make decisions, how we allocate resources on opportunities, it changes the dynamic that you don't have to come up with all the ideas yourself. We now are empowering people in an engaged way to raise their hand and say, hey, Trey, I see this thing. Did you consider this idea?
Absolutely.
And so I think there is something where if we are intentional, we can start bringing people through that funnel to be more prepared for a very hard seat to sit in.